I think I just found my new favorite way to label cable. I've made labels with the label maker, and then I have this clear heat shrink that seals it in. Because long term, those sticky labels, they just don't stick to things and they get damaged and rub off and peel off. But with it sealed into the cable by the heat shrink, it's kind of awesome. I made the heat shrink long enough that it sticks inside the strain relief nice and solid, so it's not going to move around and it's not going to come out over time. The heat shrink's not that expensive. A 100-foot spool of this was $58, and I got some of different sizes. I bought it mainly for rigging so we can seal in those nasty aircraft cable pokey bits when we're doing crimping. This one worked out perfect for SO cable. Many of you are commenting that I should just get heat shrink from my label makers and use that. The heat shrink is much more expensive in those little label cartridges, and they only come in 5-foot lengths. The brand name versions are anywhere from $30 to $60. You do the math, and that's just exorbitant on a per foot basis. $30 is $6 a foot. Yeah, you can get an off-brand compatible cartridge for about $5 a cartridge, and that comes out to $1 a foot. But the other thing is, you are still limited by the size of your label maker. I have a Rhino 4200. It can only go up to 3/4 inch tape. The Rhino 5200, same thing, 3/4 inch tape. The Rhino 6000 accepts up to 1-inch wide label tape cartridges. This 3/4 inch wide heat shrink, 3-to-1 heat shrink, that when it's flat is actually about 1.25 inches, is still much bigger than that. I don't think I can get a handheld portable label maker that will make labels that are big enough to fit around SO cable. And again, at 50 cents a foot for this clear heat shrink, I can put any colored label I want underneath it. I have a whole lot of options, and the label's protected underneath that clear heat shrink. So I think this is going to be a nice long-term, long-lasting solution. Definitely better than, say, writing on the plug with a paint pen, or definitely better than a temporary gaff tape or similar type of label. Would I do this if we were rebuilding all of our cable stock in the lighting shop? Maybe. There's something about color coding that makes things easy to sort out. You know, you have different colors, whether it's red, blue, yellow, white, with electrical tape, and that makes it real easy to quickly and efficiently sort out. You don't have to read numbers and process the language, which can slow you down. I don't know if anyone's ever used the Bop It game, but they have 2 versions of Bop It where it says the words, twist it, pull it, and your brain has to process that language and your reaction time is slower. If you just turn off the words and use the sounds that are associated with the things, that's twist it. And you learn those things so much faster. And the boing is the flick it. Your brain can process the audible sounds faster than it can process the language. So I would apply that to your cable management. Your brain can process the color coding faster probably than it can process the read the words and what does the word say, 50 foot, 20 foot. But you could use both. You could get colored labels and have the numbers as well. The only problem with colored labels is there's no consistency from theater to theater. We all make up our own color coding system, and there is never going to be any sort of consistency from place to place. 18 millimeter diameter comes out to about 26 millimeters when it's laid flat, which comes out to almost 1.25 inches. Your cartridges come 3/4 inches laid flat, which means a 3/4 inch cartridge is going to be slightly under 1/2 inch diameter. It's not going to fit over the SO. Even the 1-inch cartridge, which I don't have a machine that it fits because I don't have the $500 Dyno Rimo 6000, 1-inch laid flat gives us about a 0.6 inch diameter. Still not going to fit over the SO cable. And yes, you can get custom printed heat shrink printed on a variety of sizes. But if you need to custom label each individual cable, that's not really the best choice. If you're making dozens of 50-foot cable label or with your company brand logo or name, then yeah, that's a great way to go. But if you're doing 100 individual circuits or something like that, it's not the right choice. You also have setup fees to add into the mix with those, and those can get quite expensive per unit as well. So for this particular application with SO cable, I don't think there's a cost-effective printable heat shrink option unless I was printing a bunch of my own brand or department labels to add to the mix. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with more technical theater content.